this is my song, Haze Acoustic Master.
Dash tracks. So this is the Master of Haze, the acoustic song I just whipped up quite quickly, bit impromptu, as the French say. Probably, it might be French, I don't know. But as you can see, I've kept it quite simple. Stupid. I've only used a limiter and the master desk. I have got a couple plugins that I didn't end up using. Fresh Air, TubeEQ, UAD Pure Plate Verb, the Magma Stress box. I didn't end up using them. They were a bit detractive, I thought. Not necessary. I have got my limiter here set to plus 2.4 dB with a release of 250 milliseconds. I know 250 milliseconds is the default. I did play around with it though. I made it longer and I made it shorter. I think I just didn't enjoy it as much. I thought 250 was quite reasonable for it actually, even though it's the default. But I have put the gain up to 2.4 decibels. Originally I had the gain set to, I think it was about 4.3 decibels, which I quite liked then when it was just a limiter on the channel strip. But once I developed a bit and put the BX Master Desk on, I realised it was just too squashed and sounded not right, so I reduced the gain a little bit and it sounds better off from it. So it's now at 2.4 dB. I did try and mess around with the Fresh Air plugin. As you can see, it's only quite small adjustments, less than 20% per one. But I actually turned it off because I thought it was too bright and didn't really sound nice. There's a bit of a darkness to the track that it detracted from that, and I didn't really like it. It got too sickly with how much high end there was, so I got rid of it because I didn't like it. I did screw around with the TubeEQ just to see if adding brightness on here would be nicer than the Fresh Air, because I can attenuate more on here. I did boost 6.1k by 3 dB, but again I just didn't really like it. It didn't really sound right. It sounded too bright and sickly. So I disabled those and moved on. I thought, okay, let me do something exciting. I'm going to try putting reverb on the master, which is not typical. It's not a very usual thing to do really in mastering, but I've done it before with projects and it's been successful, I think. So I thought, okay, let me try putting a plate reverb on here, especially one of the UAD ones that I quite like. Ended up quite liking it, but I thought in the end it was actually detractive from the song, and I thought it was not worth having the reverb on there, and it was a miscalculation on my part. Even though it's quite a short reverb and it's still most of the dry signal, I just thought it was too much, so I got rid of it. And there's already quite a lot of reverb on the track anyways, so I thought I'm just going to take it off. I do have the BX Master Desk here. I've boosted the volume by 3.7 decibels because the song, whilst it's at 0 dB on the stereo output, I still wanted it to sit right within the dynamic range. I wanted it to sit within the green zone. And it was, but I just wanted to give it a bit more power in the volume and just limit it a bit more, see if it made a difference. And I think limiting more on here compared to the actual limiter plug-in was a better shout, I think. I think with this one, with the limiter higher, with the gain, sorry, it just sounds too squashed. Whereas on here, it sounds much better, and still is dynamic, but not too dynamic. I have enhanced the stereo by 32%, which is good effect, I think. I think it's sounding much nicer because of it. I've got the tone set to 22%, just to add a bit more brighter high end into it. This was much more favourable than these two plugins here, the Fresh Air and the Tube EQ. It just sounded more right. Yes. I have taken away a little bit of foundation just by -6. Just to take away a little bit of the dark tones of the guitars a little bit. But yeah, I have left the THD alone because it seems that every time I try and use it, I just don't really notice any difference. And maybe I don't know, maybe I'm just not using it properly. But I just can't figure out exactly what it's doing. I know technically what it's doing. It's a distorter, not distorter. It's a saturator, a tonal harmonic distortion. But I just have yet to find the right use for it. Really, I can't really figure it out. I have set the compressor to soft, just because I thought it'd work better with the song. But yeah, I have not automated. I thought I did, but no, I'm misthinking because I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's the project. I'll play a little bit. A bit of the vocals as well.
Goodbye, thoughtful lies. When the first people die, what will they cry for next?
Yeah, I think it's sounding pretty nice. I'm definitely not inspired by Pink Floyd at all, and anyone who tells you that is a liar and a con man.